Pressure is on. Will Apex take us to a game 3, or will Team Liquid close it out with a quick 2-0? Looks like they're going to deny Ray his Jarvan. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Cassiopeia ban after that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Those bans worked for them in the first game. While Swain Zilean was a little annoying to deal with, they seemed to be fairly successful. Shout out to Fabi as well for hitting all of his Ashe arrows.
Yeah, I would love to go back and actually take a look at his accuracy over the course of the game. That guy was on point. But next ban is going to be Kindred, banned away from Dardoch.
That's odd. I don't think Kindred was banned in the last game.
There were no jungle bans.
Yeah, and it wasn't picked either.
No.
So, really odd there for Apex.
Remarkably odd. But, well, again, it's an adaptation. They're going to try to change things up in this. So, Cassiopeia, as expected, banned away from Apex, the only team to play it. But Apex now going to ban away that Ryze again, keep Phoenix off of those hyper-damaged champions. Didn't exactly work with Victor.
Yeah, there's a chance Keen could lock down Victor fairly early. I think they were mainly going for a Vladimir pick. That could be why they banned the Kindred. They just kind of threw the ban away. They didn't want to do the same triple mid lane ban just because Vladimir would have been so fortunate to have fall through, but Team Liquid just doesn't let it happen. Throws the Vladimir ban in, no harm done.
Might have been next on the tier list of bans. But first pick for Apex, denying Matt that heavy utility in Karma, but Dardoch is still hovering that Olaf.
Yeah, Sivir wasn't banned this game, so they could still try and speed up with Fabi on Sivir if they wanted to, but I definitely think Olaf Shen would be less lethal without the Karma.
Yeah.
You know, the less fast Olaf runs, the less dangerous he becomes, and Karma is a pretty key component in that.
Mm-hmm. But looks like they decide to change it up. It's going to be Trundle locked in and Nami for Matt, so support in top lane.
Yeah, I think that's smart as well, especially if they want to lane against a Karma. It is very important to have some level of sustain and the ability to poke back a little bit, since Karma can't sustain up very well. And Lorlo has also had some really good games on both Aurelia and Trundle, so I like the fact that they're going back to Trundle and expect to see a lot of ganks for that lane from Dardoch.
Yeah, Lurlo might be expecting that Swain once again, and Trundle very well equipped at dealing with it. Speaking of which, Keen gives it the old hover. We'll see if he decides to lock in as Apex. So far, they've only shown possibly support, possibly mid lane. We'll see what they decide to go for.
Yeah, definitely haven't shown much. Swain was top lane last game, could very well go mid lane this game if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I think Swain is actually a good lane against Trundle. Trundle can run away with it if he gets a lot of magic resist, but we've definitely seen that matchup swing in Swain's favor occasionally.
Yeah, Swain is locked in, and Shrimp going to return to that Rek'Sai once again in game 2.
Yeah, I don't think there was necessarily any flaws in his Rek'Sai game. Locking it down fairly early. Also, since they have the Karma, Dardoch's Olaf wouldn't be as good. Also can't go for the Kindred since it's banned away. Still likely to see him play Olaf, I think, but... Ooh, would he do it? Nidalee instead. Awesome.
Yeah, decides to commit to the Nidalee, and Fabi says, I bet I can get 110% of arrow accuracy.
Even the ones he doesn't shoot, he will burn a flash. No, we'll see. Nidalee will be fun to see from Dardoch. He's got to be a little bit careful. Should not get too crazy, but that's a whole bunch of sustain the team would build up. They can get quite a good poke seat comp if they really want to. Nidalee can obviously apply a lot of early pressure for all the lanes, most importantly Lorlo, I think. Let's see what Apex does.
Yeah, 25 seconds on their final 2 picks. AD carry going to be necessary in either top or mid, depending on where that Swain gets flexed. Might even consider that Zilean, but no, Twisted Fate locked in for Keen.
Yeah, Keen has had some solid Twisted Fate performances and some not so solid ones. One after the other, actually. He won against Phoenix 1, another one against Phoenix 1. But it's good for overall map control. And it's, I think, a good pick against Nidalee as well, who likes to get super aggressive. It's a good way to stop some Nidalee ganks, since it's usually a pretty squishy build. Also, it gives them really long-range initiation when they combo with the Jhin. But it's a little bit weak on the overall tankiness for the team, so we'll see how that plays into the Ashe arrows and Fabi.
It'll be up to Shrimp and Keen to absorb those before Team Liquid can collapse. Liquid now looking at their final pick for Phoenix, gets to counterpick against that Twisted Fate. He's had some very strong mage performances over the past few weeks. And looks like he's going to try to continue it up with that Assassin LeBlanc.
Right on. So definitely turning up the aggression a little bit. This time, so there's no Zillion in the game, so when they do land an Ash Arrow, they can potentially get larger gains because they don't have to worry about that happening, and they definitely want a large amount of burst to take down Ray early on in fights. That's potentially why they're doing the LeBlanc. So not the same level of like persistent team fight threat from Team Liquid, but Apex as well doesn't have the revive for Swain this time, and a much different lineup overall.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the teams adapt. Apex, the pressure is on for them to take us to a Game 3, whereas Team Liquid going to be going much more aggro with the Nidalee LeBlanc.
Yeah, Team Liquid will be wanting to win this one pretty quickly, and they're going to want to get Lorlo ahead so he can become a big split-pushing threat, and then allow the LeBlanc to take over from there. And as we mentioned, a lot on the line still for these teams. They're both tied at 3-3, have had ups and downs so far in the split. I'd say Apex has actually had the stronger-looking 3-3 start, only because Liquid started 1-3, and then beat some of the weaker teams last week. This would be one of their highest quality wins if they're able to close it out.
Yeah, and we were talking about how important it is for them to get those wins early on because they needed the morale. Well, now it seems like they've got it. They're playing at a very confident level. Now, before we start Game 2, though, let us know who you think will lock in this game win using hashtag TLWin or hashtag APXWin as the players prep to load into the Rift. Are we going to an ace match? Or will Team Liquid take this game in a very early, very aggressive fashion?
Yeah, I mean, and also, is Fabi going to improve to 3-0 as a TL starter, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's been quite a streak for these guys, and obviously, we haven't been able to talk much about the Piglet Fabi back and forth, but I mean, Piglet said he was getting a little burned out, wanted to break. Fabi wanted to get his feet wet in the LCS, and, you know, if they keep winning,
yeah,
it's going to be a hard argument to put him back in, depending on if Fabi can continue to perform at this level.
I'd say it's a pretty big confidence booster when you play in the LCS and you nail every single enchanted crystal arrow you fire in a match. So definitely some big performances. And we have now loaded onto the Rift for game number 2 between Apex and Team Liquid. We'll have to see if, once again, Team Liquid decide to opt into the lane swap as everyone starts off with some defensive lines. And in fact, Keen is following down on that bottom side. Might be looking for something a little bit cheeky.
Yeah, they would always love to get an early summoner spell to make Shrimp's life easier. The flash on Burrow gang from Rek'Sai is usually lethal if you burned a flash. It just wasn't last game.
Yeah.
Because he didn't flash at the right spot.
Apollo gets a very deep ward, but is forced to flash as Team Liquid collapse.
Why was it Ash that had to go and place that ward is the real question. Or sorry, why was it Jin to place that ward? Not a great start. They get the deep ward, so they'll get to see where Fabi walks past. That triggers to me that Apex would like to swap. Nami is such a powerful laning support. Ash can combo very well with that too. Yeah, look at that. They see Fabi in the ward and immediately path upwards. So if there was ever a question about who initiated the lane swap, it was Apex this game.
This time, Apex decide to go for the lane swap. And on top of the ward, looks like Team Liquid decide not to start the Gromp. Not necessarily very safe without that much vision of Apex. So everyone heads back towards those lanes, and seeing the lane swap, Lorlo actually doesn't see anyone in his lane yet. He will only see Jin, as it looks like Xpecial is going to try to get some damage onto Phoenix.
Yeah, it would be weird. The level 1 Karma gank isn't exactly lethal. Ray, though, sticks around pretty long to try and get some CS. Gets 3 this time.
Yeah,
Lorlo's sitting at 4.
Lorlo again, 1 CS lead.
One step ahead, man. He's got this. Now, obviously, the laners will go back into the lane swapping duties. Matt doing a good job to delay Ray's recall.
Yeah, just wasting his time as much as he can. But he was...
Oh, wow.
He's actually teleporting to the top side.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand this. He was delayed anyway. Wants to help out with this early turret take faster. Realized his recall was interrupted. Wasn't going to be able to get there through standard means, so burns a teleport.
Yeah, Matt.
Bubble gank.
Ooh, once again.
Gets a flash. Wow, there's a teleport LeBlanc in the mid lane at level 2. even if that bubble lands, I don't think there was kill threat on a Keen. And he was going to be forced to recall anyway, so... Now both summoners down on Keen. Multiple flashes burned already in the early game, so definitely some early edges for Team Liquid.
Yeah, once again, very confident in this lane swap. We'll see if they're able to take an early advantage or if Apex will be able to keep pace. As double wards from both of the mid laners, Phoenix has learned his lesson this time. Drops it very quickly in that bush to make sure he's not going to be caught out by Shrimp going for a quick visit. And in fact, the blue buff is going to be gifted over to Keen.
Yeah, relatively standard Rek'Sai play to give blue buff away very early on in the game. It can really help out the Twisted Fate in this matchup as well because it allows him total freedom in clearing the wave from beyond LeBlanc's engagement range. And as long as Phoenix is pushing the wave a little bit, like you can throw your wild cards such that it doesn't super push the wave. So really good to have it on TF early in the lane, and he's been struggling since he burned his flash. So I like that choice by Shrimp to give it away.
Yeah, minor opportunity to equalize just a bit as Dardoch continues to hard farm in the jungle. On that Nidalee, just a little bit faster than Shrimp. And continuing to zone around towards that mid lane is Keen, as you mentioned, suffering a bit in the mid lane, down about 10 CS, but he should be able to catch most of these, especially with that blue buff. As everyone's just taking their time, looking to set up that double lane swap. Now Team Liquid are going to try to collapse onto Ray here.
Yeah, Matt's still level 1. I would like to see him get a little bit from CS to at least get level 2, but technically I guess he doesn't need his heal for anything because no one's laning and taking harass. But even just getting the E to make his bubble ganks better because he can auto-attack for a slow and then knock up, so he wouldn't even get the heal second. But nonetheless, Matt continuing to walk around as a little level 1 Nami.
Yeah, you just saw both junglers in the mid lane. Potentially looking for a fight, but neither mid laner decides to commit to it. Even, as you said, Matt roaming up. Still level 1. Xpecial's level 3 right now. He's finally going to catch up and try to catch some of these minions, but with the turret going down, that could be a little bit difficult as this plays out.
Yeah, so no big gains being made really in this lane swap. We saw some early flashes being burned, but Apollo's is almost back up all the way. Keen's is halfway. Keen has made it to magic resist land as well against LeBlanc, which makes the lane a little bit more manageable. Since he was able to get that early blue buff, he hasn't had to go double Thorns on TF. And honestly, the pace of Shrimp's farming has been pretty respectable when compared to Dardoch's Nidalee.
Only about 4 down so far. He's actually going for the invade to catch up, spotted out by the Wolf Spirit, and Shrimp spots him out as well. So they tried a bit of harass in passing. Once again, first Drake, though, is Infernal. And currently, the duo of Apex is on that side of the map.
Yeah. It would be very good if they could rotate to it right now while they still realize Team Liquid is recalling away. They would sacrifice a little bit of turret damage, but technically they have the window to do so. But there's a ward inside the pit for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
And Nidalee Spears are very threatening, so they decide the conservative route. They don't try and force it. Would have been very difficult to take. But they don't even try.
Yeah, so again, dead even between the two teams. Apex, once again, playing the patient game. As Dardoch invades Shrimp's jungle to deny him just a bit. Dardoch's going to see. Oh. Doesn't quite get the last hit as Phoenix continues to farm it up. Minor CS lead, but Keen, as you mentioned, safe with that Negatron cloak. And things are nice and calm in this match so far.
Yeah, Dardoch really just trying to keep his pace up. He's gone Hunter's Potion on the Nidalee, which will allow him to spam even more mana in the jungle. It's also more likely because he probably wants to give Phoenix blue buff in this matchup. A lot of times Nidalee could just not go Hunter's Potion, take blue for themselves, and be fine, but the early investment kind of tells me that he's going to be giving the buffs away to Phoenix.
Oh, bit of trading in the mid lane. Phoenix gets chunked out. Here comes Xpecial. Lands the mantra, but Phoenix just fine. Takes some harass. And continues to wait it out.
Yeah, Dardoch runs up to heal him. The lane splitting continues, actually. Beyond the normal lane swap durations, which is actually a little bit curious. A lot of times you'll swap back to somewhat standard lanes after you've done the double turret trade, but here we've actually seen Apex swap again, and they're already threatening kind of an inner push. The reason you normally don't see this is it's it's later into the game, and it makes Drake a much easier objective to take, since people are pretty strong at this point. Team Liquid matches up. Maybe Apex will then get Rift Herald for Shrimp and exact the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, we'll see what objectives they're deciding to trade. Apex are actually roaming back towards the mid lane, but Phoenix with the recall is completely safe. They're actually hoofing it all the way down.
This is really interesting because the teams technically don't know where each other are. They could be either taking the Rift Herald or the Infernal Drake, but they actually meet in mid.
Yeah, Spear catches X Special. He's chunked down to half. The arrow catches Apollo from long range. Phoenix dashes forward with the chain. First blood, Team Liquid.
These Ash arrows are so on point, and the team able to follow up on it. Whew, they burn multiple summoners. Apollo ends up burning heal. X Special's out of summoners, and Team Liquid pick up first blood for Lorlo. Plus, they can take the Drake on the backside most likely.
Yeah, big pickup from Liquid. They do have Smite on Dardoch. Shrimp is on the side, but decides not to contest it. Gets a ward over a wall.
Try and steal?
Oh, yes. Dardoch hasn't missed a Smite yet this series. No chance to start now.
Yeah, let's take a look at this kill one more time. Spear is assisted by Lorlo's Pillar. Fabi shoots it from... And really, it technically went over the pink ward, so Apollo could have had a chance to flash it, but the angle that he did it actually was really difficult because it would have been hard to get there and get over to the turret. Either way, just another bullseye from Fabi.
Yeah. Very good lead. Secures that first kill for Liquid. Minor gold lead so far. Phoenix going to try to clear this out. A lot of members of Team Liquid. Gets a good juke, but heads right onto Shrimp, who's going to flash, knock up. Gold card locks him down. Keen gets a kill in return.
Nice job by Shrimp. They don't even have to use the Twisted Fate ultimate, and they get that kill. Phoenix has gotten really aggressive in a harass and wave clear pattern right there. And Apex is able to turn it right back around and punish them. Now they're going to push on the mid lane. Not much wave clear here aside from volley.
Yeah, not going to get too much damage in this lane, though. Just evening it up right back in gold while allowing Ray to continue to freeze and build up towards that huge swain we know he's shooting for.
Yeah, got to be careful of the Ash Arrow. Definitely for Apex when they're trying to set up these turret sieges. Still no cleanse on anyone. At least X Special can get him a Kales a little bit earlier than he could on Braum last game. And yeah, I agree with that freeze. The longer this happens without Team Liquid making a big play, the better it would be. Looks like the freeze is actually broken, though.
Yeah. Ray finally going to start shoving this out just a bit. Might be looking at big objective. Currently sitting on 800 gold, so we can't afford that Rod of Ages. Convenient timing for him. However, Team Liquid currently grouped up around the Rift Herald. They've got a lot of wards looking for some vision. Dardoch once again with the Smite Stone.
Yeah, able to get more wards down.
I think he's going to try to toss the long-range spear, maybe? Nah.
Long range onto the Gromp for more farm.
Yeah.
True weight of Nidalee. Although really, Shrimp CS is very high in typical Shrimp Rek'Sai fashion. Not letting himself get outpaced by Dardoch's Nidalee.
Lorlo continuing to split in the bottom lane. Ooh, Snare
Get
actually
him
finds
again.
Phoenix, but he's able to distort out of there. Again, Apex group 4 members in the mid lane try to bully Phoenix away. They're going to get some good damage on this turret. As you mentioned, there's not a lot of wave clear.
They're ahead in tempo for sure. Ash Arrow coming through. Is this one going to land too?
Oh, it is. It finds Shrimp, but that is the tankiest member on the team. He's chunked down to half. A Snare finds Dardoch. They're going to drop the Never Move. Bullets find Phoenix. Is he going to be able to get out of this? They might just try to turn it onto Matt instead. Level 4, and he gets out of this. Apex make the decisive call and take down the mid-tier 1.
Exactly, and that goes beyond just the call to go mid lane. It's because they had such pressure building up in both the top and the bottom lane. So before Apex actually decided to go for mid lane, they got to see 3 members of Team Liquid shown on the map about as far away from mid lane as you can think in the side lane. So it makes their group up much more favorable. They landed some nice harass on Phoenix, and they just go for it. It also meant the collapse was a little bit slow for Team Liquid by the time they landed the Ash Arrow. Apex had all 5 people there, so it wasn't a pick. And like you said, it was on the tankiest member. So despite the Ash Arrow hitting, not a successful shot, and Apex take a small lead.
Yeah, a bit of a sweet and sour moment. Ah, yes, I hit it. Oh, no, on the wrong person.
Yeah. I mean, in that situation, it's not like the Ash Arrow can really do much because the whole team is there, and Team Liquid's whole team wasn't. So it's not a fight you want to initiate on.
Bit of an optimistic play, but they tried to turn it back around, and Team Liquid now actually down in gold as the turret advantage is in favor of Apex ever so slightly. It's still just about even across every lane. We're seeing minor CS leads for Phoenix and Fabi as they try to answer with a bit of damage back on the mid-tier 1, but Apex are going to be able to answer back soon.
Yeah, I think so, and we still haven't even seen a Twisted Fate ultimate, which is rather interesting. The side waves have been pretty well prepped by Apex throughout this game, but if Team Liquid ever try and get control of that, they're going to have to worry about the TF. Another one!
Another one, stacking the bubble. They burst down Keen. Can they kill him in time? He's so low with the Ignite burning. Fabi, flash auto kill secured.
This is actually insane, how many Ash arrows in a row Fabi has been able to land.
Lorlo is chasing Ray down right now. The Subjugate is still giving him some stats. He has the Chomp ready, but Ray is out of mana. Oh, he's going to try to chase him down. Flash, it's answered. Dodges the Tiamat proc. There's the Pillar Shrimp. Oh, can't make it in time. Solo kill for Lorlo, but he's going to end up trading his life back over. No, Dardoch. Dardoch is there.
Dardoch was there, collapsing down, following Shrimp, so it's pretty much just the solo kill, and Team Liquid got to continue pressuring mid lane. But now Twisted Fate ultimate. Keen is back.
Oh, he's immediately caught by the bubble. Snare. Oh, doesn't even land onto Fabi. Keen's trying to catch up. The card falls off. Fabi still takes some big damage. Shrimp even misses the knockup, but Apollo secures it.
Fourth bullet shot there from Apollo. Nearly great escape with the bubble, but Fabi got tagged by a few too many slows throughout that whole retreat. Big thing there, though, is the solo kill from Lorlo onto Ray. You can see it forces him into Ninja Tabi by early.
Yeah, down 25 CS with only the Tiamat and Spectre's Cowl still able to get the solo kill. Definitely bodes well, but 15 seconds until that Cloud Drake is up, and we're seeing some big buys out of Team Liquid.
Yeah, Abyssal Scepter Source for Shoes keeps the burst up fairly high for Phoenix. He's going to want to get level 11. When he does, he would be able to kill X Special from 100 to 0 with basically 3 spells. Apollo, I think he would need a full combo to kill, but that is a very high damage, high penetration early game build.
Now you can see Apex are prepping for that dragon, trying to drop some vision. It is a Cloud Drake. Definitely going to help them chase down Team Liquid if they ever find the opportunity. And as for, they decide to start it off. Dardoch recalling means Team Liquid cannot fight it.
Yeah, so definitely a pressure advantage building a little bit for Apex despite them being a little bit down in gold. They have the waves in the right spot. They can invade to get a little bit of deeper ward coverage, and really they're just having to be fearful of Ash Arrows and LeBlanc picks, because if they stay grouped up together with the Swain and the move speed addition from Karma, they're keeping themselves pretty safe.
Yeah, they're going to get some chip damage on this bottom tier 2. Not quite too much. Ray just zoning away. It's a lot of long-range poke, but Team Liquid should be fine taking it for now.
Team Liquid is just stalling that one out because they know Lorlo has the wave pushed on the other side thanks to Tiamat. He's going to get some time on this turret very soon. Got to be careful, though, right? It's against Direct Side and Twisted Fate.
Yeah.
So even if you saw where the team was, Apex can get on him almost immediately.
Shrimp Void rushes, and Lorlo says, you know what, I think I'm going to fight him over this Gromp.
Yeah, this is dangerous. King could get him, but Phoenix is going to try and help out.
Yeah, they decide to let Lorlo off with a warning. In fact, he did use his Subjugate, which is a pretty big cooldown, so looks like Team Liquid are going to trade for that Rift Herald as 4 members group up. They're going to burn through it as quick as possible. Phoenix running zone in the front. It doesn't look like Apex have any vision that this is happening. Prepping for the bottom means that this was wide open.
This is huge, actually, for Team Liquid, and Apex will know that just as well as, probably better than most people as well, because they were one of the first teams to heavily prioritize the Rift Herald in North American LCS. And Lorlo already being 2-0 against Ray will now be empowered by that buff until 37 minutes into the game. It's going to be huge for Team Liquid's split pushing ability.
Yeah. Definitely very important for Lorlo to continue up. He was down 2 levels. He was down in items. He was down in minions. Now he's up a level. He's almost even in minion. He's got those kills. Lorlo is going to be looking forward to this one-on-one if he can ever find Ray around the map. Who's currently heading towards the top side. Might be looking for Fabi.
Oh,
He's found him. There's no flash. Can he get the kill? Teleport coming in. Oh, the Crow is not quite enough. They're going to try to turn and collapse. There goes the Twisted Fate, Destiny, and Gate. Curtain Call zones Team Liquid away, and Ray zones Team Liquid off.
Yeah, Fabi, while he's had tremendous Ash Arrows, has found himself caught out of position occasionally Luckily, it doesn't cost him his life there, but it does cost Team Liquid a whole bunch of map pressure. They had to use their teleport as well as pretty much all of their ultimates to get up here. Oh, Phoenix, though.
Misses the damage onto Xpecial, but the pillar locks him down. He drops right quick to Dardoch, who continues chasing. Beatrice provides a lot of slow.
Shrimp's got to be careful. He has no ult.
Yeah, trying to keep him locked over the side. He gets locked down. He's dropped solo. Subjugate comes back up, and he's able to heal enough in time. On the far side, Phoenix is able to drop Ray, and Team Liquid continue to chase as Apex are forced to flash to escape.
Wow. Pretty much perfect timing on Lorlo getting his ultimate back right up there. Can't help but smile after that one of him. And yeah, Xpecial caught himself in a pretty bad situation right there. Needs to be able to position better. He's had these games where he's been great, and these games where I kind of wonder, like, well, why are you down there, Xpecial? I think he was going down there to vision, but it's one of those times where, like, if you see the enemy there, then you don't want to be there, so you probably shouldn't check.
Especially when that person is a LeBlanc, 5 levels ahead of you, full items.
Exactly. Jukes the skill shots, but then Lorlo's able to stay alive on the backside. Phoenix as well flashes for another kill. Hopefully trying to snowball this game. Looks like he's going for Morella Nomicon next. That is some real early game power. Phoenix gonna hope to take over this game on the Blanc.
Team Liquid now 2,000 gold ahead. Up 3 kills.
Swain's bird is just everywhere.
Beatrice is omnipresent.
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that the purpose of the nightmare?
It's true. Just this bird constantly just all the time. That would be quite a nightmare.
Oh boy. At least it's not knocking on your chamber door. 20 minutes in, Team Liquid now group up in the mid lane. Might be looking for that tier 2 as they've got all 5 members. Apex not quite able to respond quick enough. There's a lot of damage on this tier 2. There goes the never move.
Yeah, they're trying to zone him out.
Long range engage with the curtain call, but they can't lock Phoenix down, or Liquid down.
It's really interesting what they're doing right here. It's like they're using the Twisted Fate ultimate and the curtain call kind of at the same time. Maybe just hoping to line something up, but we've yet to see Keen try and go in since they've never had that opportunity. And he's also going for a Lichbane build, which gives him less of an ability to just kind of go into a bunch of people because he's not rushing Zonias, and is more about split pushing. But I don't think they're going to get split push priority with Lorlo's Trundle in the game. So the options are actually a little bit lower for Apex right now. It's almost like the TF ultimate is just there to give Apollo more vision for curtain call.
That was the old school Nocturne strat. You take Clairvoyance so that you can engage on people across the map.
Yeah, when you don't have wards to see where they are.
Yep.
Ah, I got you. Now it's just Blue Trinket.
Yeah.
Easy.
Now everybody has it. Wasn't a great strategy. Didn't work out too well. But speaking of strategies, Mountain Drake is an important thing to take. Very important for these team strategies. I tied it together. I got there.
Very nice.
Coming up in 25 seconds. Seeing some recalls once again out of Dardoch and Fabian with 20 seconds and Apex right around the pit. Apex could try to rush this down.
Yeah, they could try and rush it down, and they have some vision of the objective itself right now, but I think they just have such limited vision control around their base that it would be very dangerous for them to go checking around that area, especially knowing the power of Phoenix in this stage in the game and also the fear of the Ash arrows. So this actually sets up Team Liquid for a pretty decent dragon attempt if they want to.
Yeah, they clear out vision in the river. They've got Lorlo split pushing in the top side of the map. Actually sitting outside of vision right now to make sure to play the one extra little bit of a mind game. You don't know where I am. Am I here? Am I there? And then he shows himself. So Apex, they're now grouped up. Phoenix and Dardoch are going to spot this out. He's going to try to... Whoa!
Xpecial, no magic resist. Can't be checking brushes like that.
Oh, but they have caught Phoenix. He's going to be locked down and destroyed. The arrow still finds Keen, though. They just don't have enough follow-up. Matt eats the slow. He's got his flash as Shrimp tries to catch up. That's a late teleport from Lorlo as Dardoch tries to keep the rest of Apex split. Shrimp is going over the wall. He might have gone too far as he drops Dardoch, eats a snare, and goes down to Keen.
Turns into a 2-for-2. Phoenix isn't able to retreat in time after bursting down Xpecial to get to complete safety. And then, yeah, like you said, a very late and pretty ineffectual teleport from Lorlo. They basically secured the kill on Shrimp with no help from Lorlo at all. So watching this one more time, like Xpecial just walks towards where, and they knew that was dangerous. That's why the Twisted Fate ult was coming in. So Xpecial just needed a little bit more patience. But then because they had the Twisted Fate ultimate, they had tagged him with the shot, which allowed the Jhin to root him, which allowed the rest of Apex to catch up. And then watch this as Shrimp continues the dive on, and the teleport comes in from Lorlo. I thought Lorlo was going to go straight for Apollo after this, but instead he just runs up the pit, and the gold card ends up killing Dardoch, and Lorlo does nothing that whole fight.
Yeah, not a very worth trade. Just going to get some minor gold for Team Liquid. But what worked for them so well in game one was taking these tiny kill leads and turning them into objective. Now it seems like that's what they're going to try to do, as they've got 5 members on this side of the map. Ray has a teleport of his own.
And Team Liquid need to continue to be decisive. It's what's improved them as a team, and it's Dardoch's call right now to go for the Drake. But Apex is going to be trying to stop this. It's getting low.
There goes the teleport. Mountain Drake secured. Shrimp is in the front along with Ray, as the tanks should be. The arrow misses the first one.
The streak is broken.
Yeah, quite unfortunate. Lorlo with no mana has to back away. Ray is going to continue to provide chase. Keen drops the Destiny. Matt is split off. This is almost certainly going to be a free kill for him as he locks it down with the gold card. Snare actually misses. Matt might get out of this. Finally.
Kills must be earned. He pulls out another card right there.
Yes.
Team Liquid do get the Drake, which I think is rather important, but Apex still not out of this one, right? Like, both these games have followed a fairly similar pattern where Team Liquid are the ones being relatively decisive, getting some nice picks, seeming like they're kind of ahead of Apex, but then...
Oh, the auto attack!
And Phoenix is also crushing people in both games. That's another common theme. But to continue, it's like Apex, despite all these things, are staying right in it where you still think they're going to have a chance at some point. Like, Keen's Twisted Fate is doing a whole bunch of damage as well. Aegis obviously being completely unmatched to try and diminish the spraymatic damage they're getting. But, like, late game TF is one of the most formidable forces in the game because he can one-shot 80 carries with a stack deck, gold card, wild cards. And the 80 carry is just gone. So that will always be the case for Keen later on in this game. And if they can control vision, keep Ray in the farm position, like, they would still have a chance. But it's still in Team Liquid's hands because they're the ones making the aggressive calls.
So important for Apex to try to contest that vision as best they can. But Liquid very active with the double sweepers. In fact, Phoenix also with a sweeper. Going to try to deny it as much as possible while Ray continues to catch minions in the mid lane. Taking stock of the CS, it's fairly even. We're seeing minor advantages here and there. Dardoch has finally managed to pull ahead in CS from consistently invading. But in terms of overall gold, it's generally pretty close down the line. Maybe 1,500 gold for Dardoch is the biggest opening.
Sure. Obviously, the Infernal Drake will add more value as last game. And the next Drake will be Infernal as well, so if Team Liquid can get double Infernal, that will be incredibly valuable.
Now Apex are looking to push their vision into Team Liquid's top side of the map. Lorlo going to try to defend as a spear tags Shrimp. Phoenix is on the other side, but Teleport LeBlanc has the luxury of joining fights a little bit late. Apex are going to try to shove this forward. They've got 4 members there. Once again, Xpecial trying to zone with vision.
Team Liquid having to buy a fair bit of time here with Phoenix going over for that blue buff. Obviously, though, they don't know that Phoenix isn't there. They also don't have total vision control about potential LeBlanc flanks, so Apex needs to respect all that initiation potential and back away.
I think it's like a Schrodinger's LeBlanc. There both is and isn't a LeBlanc in this bush, so you have to assume there is.
Yeah, especially if you're Xpecial. It's going to make him very timid about where he goes this game.
Oh, Dardoch eats a snare. Matt takes 1, 2 bullets. The third and fourth are going to miss, though. And that was the Destiny Gate once again. So Keen and Apollo using those ultimates in tandem.
Really, it feels like Keen is just trying to enable Apollo to land more of them because it doesn't look like he's even thinking about following up on these until he has Zhonya's. For now, he's just going to continue to try and wave clear. He's got a big wave stacking up bottom.
Yeah, he's going to be able to catch these minions. Lorlo's on this side of the map as well. We'll see if anything opens up over there as the rest of Team Liquid continue to split the map, wait out these objectives, and not let themselves get picked off by this long range from Apex, and continue to contest vision over and over. Whoa! All right, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, as much of a duelist as Trundle is, Twisted Fate gets to stun you every 5 seconds, so it's really hard for a Trundle to duel a TF.
Under a turret?
Yeah.
I'd take those odds. I mean, that's the TF mantra. Something about being a gambler?
Yeah. take the risk.
He's got the stacked deck. But
There we go.
Team Liquid are going to send a couple members to the top side. Apex respond appropriately. Don't take any damage on the tier 2. Lorlo is split pushing though, and neither Keen nor Ray are answering.
Yeah, Keen had teleport, decides to stop wave clearing, and Lorlo stuck around. So good map play by Lorlo, maintaining presence in that lane. Knew he had the teleport the whole time and gets a turret as his reward.
Yeah, free tier 2 for Team Liquid as Apex respond correctly on one side, but not correctly on the other. That's like a multiple part question. I got the first answer right, but the second one, just off.
And Apex has been doing a fair bit of that, where they have the right idea sometimes, or they have the right team composition, but they're just a little bit off in some parts of their execution. And some of that could happen from, it's a tired storyline, but the language barrier. They have Ray, Shrimp, and Keen. They're doing a little bit of translation. There's some broken English there as well, going between the whole team, and they seem a little bit desynced from what Ray and Shrimp want to do and from what the rest of the team wants to do. Whereas Team Liquid definitely feel more synced up.
Yeah, Team Liquid have been moving as a unit very cohesively over the course of these games. And we'll see if they can continue to use it. They're going to try to catch Dardoch. Oh no, they're turning on to Matt instead. They'll take the consolation prize. Another arrow hit. Matt eats a huge crit. Dardoch with the Zhonya's buys enough time. The rest of Team Liquid collapses. They're forcing Apex to back away. Dardoch is going to chase. Spear finds Ray. Does he follow it up? Phoenix lands the chain. He gets knocked up, but they're able to drop Ray. Dardoch is going to have to hop the wall. Does not succeed. Apollo gets the revenge kill. Lorlo is going to continue to chase, though. He's got the assistance of the rest of his team. There's another knock up and stare. He's taking a lot of damage from the turret, but they're dealing it back to Shrimp, who's going to get out just now. He finally goes down to the volley, and Team Liquid take 4 kills for 1.
And Apollo's the only one alive at the end of that one. The way they turned around Keen's Twisted Fate initiation was majestic. They landed every CC and didn't even let him get his gold card off. So watch this one more time. Apollo doesn't get the first throw, and they try to go for Matt, but just everything hits Keen. He can't even get his gold card off. Bubble, Tidal Wave, Ash Arrow is just all thrown in. And then Lorlo comes into the fight, and TL lands a bunch of skill shots down the stretch, so they get a bit of damage onto Ray. They get the chain early. Dardoch jumps in. Shrimp actually stopped him from chaining it, and then Dardoch can't jump over the wall to finish, so a slight misstep there, but then Lorlo goes for the slow. And then it looked here like Phoenix was going to grieve. He wanted X Special and Shrimp, because he could have very easily finished off Shrimp, but he goes past him, distorts in, just so he can combo down X Special. A volley finishes off Shrimp. They get their 4th kill of the fight, and they take the inhibitor afterwards. Plus, they get their 2nd Infernal Drake of the game.
Yeah, Team Liquid are propelling this game further forward. And Apex, once again, they're making, this time, they're making the decisive calls. All right, we go for the pick, we look for the fight, but Team Liquid were able to juggle it out and turn around the chase to pick off a successful kill in answer.
And this is honestly the transition that every team needs to make to become a top team. They need to be able to make the aggressive play without really favorable odds.
Yeah.
Right? In close odd situations, they have to make a play that will allow them to win. And that's something that Apex hasn't necessarily shown that they can do consistently. Even when they were a challenger team, which is obviously slightly a different roster. Oh, they're going for another kill.
Yeah, they're going to try to pick off Matt. Once again, the CC chain begins. Matt finally is going to drop
this time.
Dardoch hops the wall. He's spotted out by a lot of wards. Lorlo in the back line got a great teleport. He's going to single-handedly zone 1 versus 3 while the rest of Apex look to collapse. Team Liquid are coming around the corner, but they can't get there in time. Shut down by Apollo.
And good job by Apex for not relenting on trying to make plays. They have a lot of initiation potential with Jhin and Twisted Fate. And it's something that they weren't necessarily able to do in Challenger, and it's something they haven't necessarily been able to do during this series. They were the team that played the really long games where they'd wait until they have a 20,000 gold lead and then just win because of that. But teams in the LCS won't let you do that. Team Liquid has consistently had a slight gold lead on Apex, which means if Apex wants to get back in the game, they can't get it by farming, and they have to get it from playmaking. That was a play that was worth making, and they did it well.
Yeah, finally going to close things up just a bit and reset Team Liquid, allow Apex to catch up in gold. We'll see if they can continue to make these decisive plays, as Vision is so instrumental for these two teams to enable the plays for Apex. And Liquid, triple sweeper, are going to try to deny that as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams relatively similar Vision strategies. Sightstone on Shrimp to give him a little bit more coverage. Therefore, Team Liquid tries to get a little bit more ward clearing. Phoenix also, remember, had a Dark Seal earlier. He upgraded that to a Soul Stealer. He's currently sitting on 9 stacks. If he dies once, he will lose all of those because you lose 10 upon death. So he has to be maybe a little bit less reckless, but they're going for Ray. They get the slow.
Oh, he actually stands and takes the tidal wave. Dardoch chases forward. They're going to try to collapse on him. He's down to half. Ignite gets Grievous Wounds. The arrow lands, and they secure the kill onto Ray.
And a really nice zone is by Dardoch right there because Keen was moving in to burst him down. But the 2.5 seconds of stasis bought the time for the rest of Team Liquid to come up and push Keen back. So a very ambitious move going on to Swain, who they've been able to shut down quite well this game.
Team Liquid,
but it still takes a lot to kill him.
Yeah, it certainly does. Team Liquid now pinging onto the Baron. Ray is dead for 20 seconds. He's going to have teleport, though. There goes the curtain call. 2 bullets find Dardoch. If he can burst him down, that would be huge, as Apex are going to try to contest this.
Yeah, they kill this really fast. Phoenix going to try and burst X special. Doesn't get him. Maybe they go back to Baron.
Yeah, they turn it into a fight instead, zoning the rest of Apex away. Baron still hasn't healed. They're going to burst it down, secure despite Shrimp's flash, and they're going to turn now onto Shrimp. This is the fight they were looking for, and that's going to be Shrimp going down. Snare locks down Lorlo as the rest of Apex back away. Ray teleporting in awfully late. Keen tries to force it into a fight. Gets the wild cards, but does he have enough? No, as Phoenix flanks and picks up 2. Fabi flashes the wall away from Ray. And they will be able to catch Fabi. Another arrow lands, but Fabi not long for this world. Baron was secured, and oh, is Keen gonna chase? Nah, decides not to.
Yeah, and very slim margins that Team Liquid is operating under right there because the flash from Shrimp was just a millisecond after that Baron had gone down. But it was also pretty smart by Team Liquid. Lorlo had zoned out the rest of the team, meaning if Shrimp is gonna go into for the kill, it's a suicide mission.
No way!
21 stacks on his Soul Stealer right now. He's picked up 3 kills in that fight. So Phoenix going off once again
Yeah.
in this series.
8, 2, and 4, complete some big items. Here's that fight once again at the Baron pit.
Yeah, I mean, Curtain Call is a great spell to try and disrupt the Baron, and Team Liquid did a good job of not completely going for a steal here and trying to push Apex back off the side of the pit. Phoenix gets some good harass down, but then notice here, the Trundle Pillar goes down. So Apex can't actually funnel all the way through without severe threat. Team Liquid go to burst the Baron. Dardoch smites as Shrimp flashes in. Then the rest of the fight progresses. I actually really heavily dislike the teleport location from the Swain right here. There are plenty of locations to teleport in that are closer to the fight, but he teleports in the mid lane and has to run in. And this was actually a pretty close fight. Phoenix was picking up a lot of kills, but Keen was full health, Apollo was full health for a lot of it. And Ray goes in for a bunch of damage, but he actually got picked off, and now Apollo's dead again.
Yeah, Team Liquid steamroll down the mid lane, and Apex cannot respond quick enough. Apollo dropping means that it's 5 versus 4 with Baron still on Dardoch and I believe Dardoch and Phoenix for the next 90 seconds.
And Phoenix has arrived. That's a 25 stack Soul Stealer with the death cap completed, so he has all the AP multiplication going on right now. Baron buff up means more threat. Lorlo's just getting them that bottom turret, so they either go for the win or they go for double inhibitor, or both.
Yeah, they've got 5 members now. They're actually going to look for the win as the Nexus turret gets shredded before Apex can respond. Lorlo tanking in the front. Phoenix hops in, but the Nexus is already dead. And Team Liquid 2-0 Apex.
Yeah, Team Liquid ran away with that game down the stretch. And a lot of it was just their focus around the objectives and their communication, because they were pushing Apex into making these decisive moves, which they weren't necessarily able to make, and Team Liquid come away with a solid 2-0.
Yeah, very confident win off of that. I mean, Fabi landing arrow after arrow after arrow, and the bulldozer of Team Liquid following up time and time again to convert those 1-off, 2-off kills into objectives. Just opened up so much for Team Liquid.
Yeah, for a team that started the split 1-3, sitting at 4-3 now has got to feel pretty good. And also, Phoenix has been consistently performing now. He won 3 Player of the Game awards in 4 of their wins last week. And he continues to excel. He has that one weakness where it's like, you know, early in the game, man, you're too greedy with your trinkets.
Yeah.
And sometimes that bites him. But like outside of that, the guy is playing out of his mind right now.
Mm-hmm.
Keen had a decent performance, but like when he started getting ahead on the Blanc, combined with the decisiveness of the Team Liquid team and Fabi on Ashe to create the initiations which allow Phoenix to excel, seems to be a recipe that's working very well for Team Liquid.
Mm-hmm. taking out Apex rather convincingly in this 2-0. Though we are still seeing many good things from Apex. In Game 2, we saw much more decisive calls for them. We saw them contesting objectives much more actively.
Yeah, and it's something Apex is going to have to continue to improve upon because they had such a good start to the split.
Yeah.
Obviously 2-0, and now they're kind of falling back to earth a little bit, but it's a long split. This was the 7th match we've had. It's going to be a double round robin. Every team is playing 18 matches, and 6 of the 10 are getting in the playoffs. So Apex can obviously use this split to continue to improve on those things, get their communication better, because even in a lot of these games, like, they're very close, and it's not like all their individuals are falling behind. It's a little bit of the cohesion they have to be able to get down, and Team Liquid was just the more decisive team.
And that's kind of what you said a little bit earlier, the fact that that's really the big difference we're seeing. Yes, they have the mechanical skill, but acting as a team really to get to that top tier level, that's still something that they need to perfect a bit.
Yeah, and it's going to be exciting to watch the rest of the split, right? Because it just feels so competitive right now, and I'm not sure if it's just a combination of having a fair number of teams on the same level, or if it's the fact that we're playing best of threes now, so we're just seeing a much larger volume of games, and we're seeing a lot of things traded back and forth. But a 2-0 like this has to feel really good for Team Liquid. Even though it counts just as much as a 2-1, it's nice to be 2 and done and come away with a win.
It certainly is. But now for more on that 2-0 match.